you?
I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
Hanging in there.
Good, good. Hey, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate this.
Absolutely. I don't
Yes.
know what I'm going to say, but we'll
Oh,
roll with it.
you'll be great. This will be fabulous. So I've been doing, well, I sent you my very first one I did with my buddy.
Yeah,
I'm home like everyone, kind of bored. And I woke up a handful of days ago and thought, I can at least talk to people on Zoom. I can see how
true.
I'm coping with this, have to let them give some advice to folks.
That's awesome. I love it. I saw Kins. That's really good.
Oh, good, good, fabulous. So,
I've seen a couple since then too. So
okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm having a good time doing this. It's giving me something to do each day. You talk a lot about purpose, and I've told my wife, this gives me some sense of purpose while I'm isolating at home. So, and I'm very thankful for that.
well, absolutely. I mean, that's really the big thing that, I'm telling clients right now in terms of businesses, but also anyone I talk to. It's what is it that you love and are passionate about doing, and find a way to do it from the comfort of your home right now. So I mean, that gives you something to look forward to, and find that meaning that I think a lot of us are missing now that we're at home 24/7.
Absolutely, it's a challenge. So I was telling a buddy of mine that my dad. I've got a 96-year-old dad, soon to be 97 years old, in a nursing home. And
Mm.
before they shut down, whatever coming up on 3 weeks ago, I was getting up at 4:15 in the morning, getting myself around, doing stuff, and then going out and having breakfast with them every day. Well, now since they closed that down, I'm lucky to roll out of bed before 8:30 in the morning. That's the impact it's had on me, and I don't like the direction that's tending.
See, and I'd say that's where you start looking for those gratitude moments, right?
Yeah,
So you being in your house 24/7 is now letting you catch up on sleep.
yeah, that's
You just gotta spin it.
absolutely. Yeah, there you go. That's why you're the expert in this. So, hey, I'm curious. I followed you, of course. I follow you on social
Yeah.
media. I see your posts on Facebook and LinkedIn, especially a lot of your own original content, which is fabulous. And then you kind of reshare some stuff. But can you just give a little, bit of background for folks who don't know you in terms of how you came to this whole concept of Project More Happy, how this became such a passion for you in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is actually marketing and advertising. And like a lot of people, I was really trying to understand my purpose and find meaning in my work, because something about just selling products to other people wasn't that meaningful. But when I took a step back and looked at it, if the products and services that you're selling are helping people, then that's what's meaningful. It's all about contributing to people's well-being and their overall happiness. Businesses exist because there's a need out there for them. Somewhere, someone needs those services. So I took that stance and really started diving in headfirst on happiness and happiness research and the psychology of happiness, and what actually drives and motivates us. And I kind of came up with the 8 pillars of happiness is what I use, and it's control, curiosity, compassion, purpose, gratitude, confidence, optimism, and one more, authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yes.
I'm cheating because I was on your site just a few minutes ago.
Oh, that's good.
I've actually got it pulled up here for this
That's
conversation. So
helpful. If I forget something, please let me know.
I'll do on the spot fact checking.
But so I do a lot of, I think happiness is something that we can train in every day. And the more we practice these different pillars, whether it's in our work, whether it's in our life, the happier we can actually be. And ultimately, the more happiness we can enable if we're happier. So Project More Happy came about as a way really to take everything I know from a marketing sense and turn it into how can we use those media and those materials and everything I've learned from a business perspective and actually enable more happiness in the world. So
Fantastic. Yeah, it's terrific stuff. I want to ask you a couple of things. We don't have a whole lot of time here today, but I want to ask you a couple of things. First, one of the things that I originally heard you say that really struck me was that success doesn't bring happiness. Happiness brings success. I'd like you to speak to that just a little bit, and then I'd like to just kind of circle back around to our current circumstances where we're isolated at home and get some practical advice from you.
yeah, absolutely. So, a lot of people think that you hit these milestones. You're told your whole life that you have these goals. You're supposed to hit these milestones. And you think that once you hit that next milestone, that's when you're going to be happy. So that's when we start chasing other people's version of success. What the research actually tells us, and what the science of happiness tells us, is that it's the other way around. It's if you understand what it is that ultimately makes you you, what makes you tick, what gives you passion, and what makes you curious. If you figure that out and find your happiness there, and then start building your goals around that, then you're going to be more successful in reaching your goals, because you're chasing your own version of happiness as opposed to the version that you think you're supposed to maintain and have.
So I'm curious with that, because not right now, but I do a lot of networking
Yeah.
when we're not staying at home. But this is a pretty radical mind shift for folks. If
Mm-hmm.
all the networking groups I go to, all the presentations I hear, they talk about being successful, being motivated, going out there, getting the sales, closing the deal, all that sort of thing, improving your skills. How do you work with folks when you coach folks in this aspect? How do you work with folks to make this what I consider to be a really radical mind shift?
Well, again, it's really all about making the goals to what your vision of success is. So when I wake up every day, so I am a mother, I have young kids, I am a business owner for Project More Happy, but also I run my own ad agency. Um, I have a lot of things that I juggle in my life. I want to be a good wife. I want to be a good mom. I want to be all of these things. And what I have to do is I have to know ultimately what those priorities are, and how those priorities affect my happiness. And once I figure out that being a mom and a good wife actually trumps how well my agency is doing, then I can start shifting around my time and my energy into those things that are actually ultimately going to bring me more happiness. Now, some people, they are defined by their jobs because they're so passionate about what they do. And so when you have people that are so driven in that aspect, then yes, putting everything they are into that and into what they're passionate about and what their purpose is, that makes sense. And that goes back to understanding what ultimately is going to make you happier.
Very good. Cool. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
to our specific situation now, stuck behind closed doors, four walls, kind of
Yeah.
driving us a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
A couple of things, I guess. What are some of the traps that you think we may just kind of naturally slide into?
Yeah.
And what advice do you have for folks to break out of those and to really thrive, not just survive, but thrive during this time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really hard because when you almost feel like you're being told to live a certain life, you're being told that you have no control. It almost feels like our control's been taken away from us. And we know that one of the pillars is actually having control, emotional control over our lives, not being reactive all the time. So instead of feeling like you're the victim, we're all victims, we're stuck in our homes. Instead, we have to look at finding control within the new normal. Okay. So we can't be chasing this old idea of what was normal. What was normal 3 weeks ago to us and our family and our happiness has to be adapted and shifted around into something we can control now. I can't leave the house. Well, I could, but I'm not supposed to, right? So what can I control in this environment that's going to bring me that happiness? And you have to start rebuilding those things that you can control. And that actually plays into the idea of authenticity. I thrive in this work from home environment because I'm an introvert.
Ah,
But there are a lot of extroverts in the world, many more extroverts than there are introverts. And so being in a contained space without other people to be social with all the time is really hard. And what I say for that is you have to find a way to be authentically you. Just because we're in this new kind of normal doesn't mean you can't be yourself. So if you're someone who thrives on that weekly happy hour because you have to see those people and socialize, then you have to just find another way to do that happy hour. And it might be setting up a video happy hour at 4 p.m. every Friday for the same people that you'd always do happy hour for. If you're a grandparent, like my mother is struggling right now because she can't see all of her grandbabies. And I get that. And it's like, we have to figure out new ways to get the grandparents and the grandkids together. We did a visit over to my parents today with the kids. Windows stayed up in the car, and my parents came out into the street and they had conversations with both kids in the car. No one
right.
broke that 6-foot barrier, but you have to find ways to be authentic and to remain true to who you are and what you want to do and what your idea of normal is in this new circumstance. And that's really finding a way to adapt instead of resisting, is really going to be the key for thriving in this situation.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Hey, kind of as the last question here as we kind of wind up our time here today, can you talk a little bit about the distinction or how you approach making small steps, incremental changes versus what I think a lot of times mistakenly, potentially, our mindset is we have to make a really big change to
Yeah.
to find happiness in our life.
Yeah, I used to be of that mindset too. That you have to go all in on something. It's like a diet. You have to go all in and starve yourself, right? And if you're going to see any results, that's not how any of it works. You have to take things day by day. And so a lot of what we've learned lately in terms of gratitude journals, or even 5 minutes of journaling a day, or taking 5 minutes in the morning to meditate, all of those things are really to ground you in what you want to achieve for today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't live in the future 2 weeks from now. Don't live in the past where we had this other idea of normal. Every morning go, okay, what's going to make me happy today? What can I get accomplished today that's going to make me feel good about myself? What hat do I want to wear today and thrive in today? And then at the end of the day go, did I accomplish that? Yes, great. I feel really good about myself. I'll do another one tomorrow. No, I didn't accomplish that. What got in the way? Maybe I can try this again tomorrow. And then you're not so fixated on being all or nothing. It's day by day as you grow and get better at these habits.
Fantastic. Hey, thank you so much. I'll put up your contact information with your website so folks
Thank
can come
you.
out. You've got some fantastic content on there. Really great advice. And again, thank you so much for taking some time and talking today.
Well, thank you for reaching out, Tim. It was good seeing you.
All right, you too. Take care.
All right, bye.
Yeah, bye.